Hi, and welcome to another episode of Tech Tip Friday. I'm Kurt Stahle, that plastics guy, and I'm bringing you a tech tip that will help you understand the plastics industry just a little bit better. So a question that I actually get asked on somewhat of a regular basis is, how long will this material last in my warehouse? Well, it's a good question, and it's not as simple as you might think. Many materials that we deal with are incredibly stable. Polyethylene, polypropylene, even nylon, super stable. Although with materials like nylon, polycarbonate, ABS, they will certainly absorb moisture over time. And that's going to necessitate a longer period of drying if you have material in your warehouse for a long period of time. Now, I'm also making an assumption that you're going to practice proper inventory turnover and management. So first in, first out, FIFO. It's basically the idea that you're using your oldest lot of material first, so you're always having reasonably fresh and consistent material in stock. Makes sense. Now, the worst case I've ever seen of material sitting in a warehouse neglected was with an auto parts manufacturer that I used to do a lot of work with back in my days selling for A. Schulman. This particular processor ran a lot of different compounds, many different colors, and when a program builds out, they'll keep stock for a little bit for service parts, and then, well, the material can just, it's done. The program's over, service requirements are over, it's done. So they asked me to look at a box of flexible PVC. It was maybe half a carton, so somewhere in the neighborhood of 300 pounds. This material had become tacky, and it was unusable. Essentially what happened, the plasticizing agent migrated out of the pellet to enough of a degree that the material was all but useless. So being a good account to us, yes, we took it back, and I can't comment on the disposition of the material. I have no idea. Could it be reworked? Maybe in a compounding situation going into a lower quality material, probably could be recovered, because you're essentially rejuvenating the material and putting fresh plasticizing agent into it. So yes, it more than likely could be saved. But at that point, the material, if I recall correctly, was about 6, maybe 7 years old. So with a flexible PVC, there's your absolute, well, it was too far gone, maybe 4 years for a flexible PVC. And that's sitting in a normal warehouse, experiencing seasonal temperature shifts, changes in humidity, etc. So about 5 years. Now again, with materials like polycarbonate, nylon, ABS, hydroscopic materials, yes, they can survive. It's not like the material is magically going to disintegrate. Imagine that if you had molded parts that were out in the field and they came apart after years for no apparent reason, in the absence of extreme UV exposure, of course. Now, if you have those hydroscopic materials, you can bet you're going to have to dry them an awful lot longer. But if you have the patience to do so, and talk to your material specialist, guys like me, gals like me, well, people like me, there you go. We can offer some guidance if you have specific issues with material, again, those hydroscopic materials. Let us know, and we can give you some better direction on suggested drying times and temperatures. You're not going to want to raise the temperatures excessively. It's going to be a question of drying it for a longer period of time to get that moisture fully out. And then those materials can definitely be usable. But please don't let them sit, I would say, longer than 8-9 years. If you're at that point, I think you have to consider that lost inventory. So if you're faced with aged inventory, call people like me. We can help you find other places for them and get it out of your plant, get it to someone who can use it, and save that valuable raw material. So I hope that sheds some light on inventory, a little bit of inventory management, but how long can inventory sit? It's a long time, and don't let it sit in your plant. It's a valuable resource. That's your cash tied up on the shelf. Sell it before it becomes completely unusable. So there you have it. Have a great Friday, a great weekend, and I will be back next Friday with another tech tip. Bye for now.